Hi everyone, welcome to my Game Week 21 transfer plans. I can't believe it's Game Week 21 already. The season is flying. I would like to wish you a happy new year. Hopefully you've had loads of green arrows in this Christmas period with the games coming thick and fast. In this video, I'm going to run you through my squad, the problematic areas and my transfer strategy to navigate the next 5 game weeks. Now if this sounds good to you, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Let's get straight into it. So this is how my team's looking for the upcoming Game Week 21. It's in pretty good condition. It's been scoring pretty well. It's got 3 transfers and 0.8 million in the bank. Not much money for me to make big moves, but with the flexibility of having multiple transfers, I can move 2 players, freeing up some money. Now, I said this team performed in December. You can have a look there. Pretty high scoring, very consistent, and even this game week it scored 85 points. So these players have been performing, which makes FPL much more easier. You can store up transfers, you don't have to make raise transfers, you don't have to make moves every week, and that's the position I'm in at the moment. It was a very difficult start to the season for me, but I finally managed to get this team in a position where I'm actually happy to look at it and don't feel the need I need to make moves every week. Now, when you look at the team, Oli Fabianski's marked at the moment. He's realistically not that much of an issue as I have Sales, albeit though, Sales does play Liverpool this upcoming game week, which isn't nice to look at. On the screen, you'll see the 2 players I've currently got earmarks for potential moves. Greaves, mainly because I don't have glaring issues anywhere else, which means I can afford to use a transfer and potentially upgrade him. Or someone like Timber, who, if I feel that the double Arsenal defense is not necessary, I could also move him on and free up some money, allowing me to improve one of my midfielders to another premium or one of my attackers to a more expensive striker. So as you can see, there's not much. The rest of the team's looking really good. Goalkeepers, defense, midfield, attack, I'm really happy with them, especially the last couple of weeks. I was considering removing the 2 cheap strikers. They were really frustrating me. They've returned the last couple of game weeks. All of a sudden, there's not a red box around their name. So I'm a bit more calmer. They get another week to play, and the upcoming fixtures, which we're going to talk about in a bit more detail, look pretty good to me. As the team's looking so strong, one of the main options I'm considering is doing nothing. It's boring. It would mean I'll have 4 transfers, but the reality is there's no need to overmanage. I was doing that at the start of the season and it really hurt my team. Now I'm in a place where I can look at the squad and think, you know what? It's actually looking pretty good. I don't need to make moves. I'm not getting FOMO about players I don't own, although there is a couple we are going to talk about in the video later on that maybe if you are making moves, you need to bring them in. But doing nothing would allow me to start Sales, which isn't great against Liverpool. Definitely not, but it is what it is. I'm not going to make a goalkeeper transfer. And even if my sub goalkeeper Fabianski was fit, West Ham are playing pretty poor at the moment, conceding goals left, right and centre. So Sales would still start. The rest of the defence, Trent, Hall and Gabriel. Now Gabriel's got Spurs, which is the North London derby, so it'll be a heated game. Maybe there's no clean sheets, but who knows? You could get an attack in return. Hall has been doing really well recently, and Wolves at home is a good fixture, so surely he has to start for me. And lastly, Trent, he really did stink up the place. In fact, the whole Liverpool team stunk up the place, to be honest, and we're fortunate to get the draw. But surely he gets another week, another opportunity to redeem himself in my FPL team. I'm not going to get rid of him after 1 poor week. In midfield, there's not much issues here. The 2 premiums, of course, they always start. Beside the 2 heavy hitters is Gordon. He was my transfer in last week. He's been excellent. I'm late to the party, but I'm happy he's in my team. Taking some set pieces now since Trippier is injured. He's looking a perfect signing. And if you don't own him, definitely someone you need to consider. I'll talk about him in a bit more detail later on. And lastly is Mbumo, the superstar of this team. And truth be told, I nearly got rid of him 4 or 5 weeks ago, but he didn't leave because the Liverpool game got cancelled and I decided to hold my transfers and assess the situation. I wasn't sure if there was going to be more cancellations and they didn't want to make a move. And look how that's worked out. He's returned 40 points in that period. Astonishing. At times in FPL, you need a bit of luck to land your way. And that one went for me. Up top, the 2 cheap strikers finally delivered. They both take penalties. And this week was the game week of the penalties. So Pedro and Jimenez both got penalties. Mohamed Salah got a penalty and Mbumo got a penalty. Shows you the importance of having penalty takers in your FPL team. And lastly is Isaac, who is an absolute superstar flying. I can't see any team in any of my mini leagues that don't own him. So this would be the team. And I've actually still got benching dilemmas. Currently on the bench, I've got Timber, who Arsenal are the best defense. I know the fixture's difficult, but Arsenal's one of those teams when the games get tough, they get even stronger. So they could easily keep a clean sheet and I will be fuming having Timber on my bench. But would you start him ahead of any of these? And I've also got Sarr on my bench, which is a problem for me because Crystal Palace have Leicester. And this is one of the fixtures I actually bought him in for. But the big problem I've got is who do I drop? So it shows you the predicament I'm in without even making a transfer. The squad is that strong, and I can imagine loads of you this game week will have benching dilemmas. This is the reason my most favorable option at the moment is to do nothing. But we do have midweek games, so that's something I need to remind you. Don't make early moves. There's midweek games, there's 2 rounds of fixtures. In fact, we've got the Carabao Cup and we've got FA Cup fixtures. So some of the players we have in our teams could play 2 games, which loads could happen. Injuries, fatigue, information from the managers regarding players playing or not playing. So definitely wait if you can. So this is my first option, my most likely option, but you never know. With the midweek games and injuries, I could easily change that and go aggressive. So I just said a minute ago that I might make no moves, but I am looking at the weak teams, and when I'm planning my transfers, I want to target these poor teams. Now, this graphic on the screen at the moment is ordered via XG conceded. There's like other couple of facts in there, like goals conceded, big chances conceded, and shots on target conceded. And as you can see, it's only the last 6 games. I don't want to use the whole season. I like to use the last 6 games to look at teams in recent run of how they're defending. The usual culprits are in this chart here. Southampton, for example. So if you own Ahmad or Bruno Fernandes or want to bring one of those in, it's perfect. Southampton are terrible. There's been no new manager bounce. They're conceding goals left, right, and center. After that, you can see Spurs in there. They were a shock team, actually. I didn't expect to see them in there, but then again, when you watch them, they do play crazy football and do give up chances. So if you own Martinelli, maybe even Odegaard or Jesus, there could be points in it for you in this fixture. After that, we've got more usual suspects. We've got Ipswich and Leicester and West Ham. Now, these 3 teams here, they concede chances, and when you are planning your moves, you need to make sure every week you've got a couple of players playing these teams. It's as simple as that. I know transfers are precious, and we're reaching the stage of the season where it's going to be chip season. We've got loads of chips and we're going to want to utilize them, so we don't want to waste transfers. But if you're trying to make maximum gains, when you are making moves, you want to make sure in your starting 11, you've got maybe 2 or 3 players hopefully playing these weak teams that give up the chances, and this is where the holes tend to be. So as well as targeting the weaker teams, we also need to look at the fixture ticker and look at the difficulties and maybe look at the next 5 game weeks to see who has the best run. Now, players I want to be bringing in, they need to have a combination of both things. I need them to be in my team for at least 5 game weeks. I can't be making transfers every week. I just spoke about the importance of transfers in the upcoming game weeks, but I want to double it up with the poor teams, which I just showed you a minute ago. So let's quickly run through this graphic here. As you can see, the team with the best fixtures is Crystal Palace. Now, they've got Leicester, West Ham, Brentford, Manchester United and Everton. Now, these look good fixtures, and also they have good players for us to get into our squads. I've ordered them from my favorite to least favorite. So starting with Muniz. Now, he's 4.7 million, incredible defender. If you watched him in the last game, I'm not quite sure how he hasn't returned, but it's a matter of time. The returns are coming. So attacking. They rely on him. They're very heavy on the right hand side. Mitchell doesn't attack as much as he does, but Muniz is so attacking. The amount of chances he's flooding into the box. In fact, one of those Eze should have buried and he didn't. That would have been a huge return for Muniz, but it wasn't to be. But I can tell you now, it's coming. After him, it's pretty tight between Eze and Sarr. I've gone Sarr. He's in my team. I said to you a minute ago, he's currently on the bench actually, even though it's against Leicester. I might have to reconsider that. It was very tight between Eze and Sarr. Eze recently has been getting on to the end of the things. The crosses that Muniz is getting, I've noticed Eze getting at the end of them, where Sarr's been grabbing the ball from a bit deeper and he's got that running power, the dribbling. His role recently has been driving the team forward. But for me, they're both great assets. If you don't have the money, Sarr's good. If you've got a bit more money in the bank, Eze add the set pieces as well, makes him even more appealing. And lastly is Mateta. A little bit frustrating, especially when we've got so many attacking options up front with Wood, Pedro, Jimenez, Welbeck will be soon, Wissa. There's a lot of options, hence why he's last. But if you want a differential, a striker that not many own, gorgeous fixtures, and I just said to you, Crystal Palace attacking numbers are not bad at all. Nothing wrong with Mateta at all. All 4 are perfect options. So it's all about what fits into your team. For me, if I did go, I've already got Sarr, I would go Muniz. So I could potentially upgrade someone like Greaves or maybe Timber, downgrade him, save a bit of money and get someone very attacking. So there's definitely options, a team I'm 100% considering. Next team I want to look at is Fulham. their fixtures are incredible. West Ham, Leicester, Manchester United, Newcastle, Nottingham Forest. Okay, the last 2 in that run there, not the best, but the first 3 are gorgeous. Fulham are another team that have got incredible options. Now, I'm not quite sure how many you've got. I currently have one. I have Raul Jimenez, who popped up with a lovely haul this weekend with 2 penalties. Very fortunate there. But the options in this team don't stop there. Robinson has been one of the best left backs in the Premier League. It looks obvious to me that he will be taken by a top 4 team, sorry Fulham fans, this summer. He's too good, having a great season, and it's not just this season or he's having a little lucky run. No, this has been going on since last season, so he's definitely an excellent player, and Fulham play to it. They're very attacking on their left-hand side. Recently, in fact, they've been playing him in a sort of 3-4-3 system where, again, like Muniz, he's been very attacking. Excellent options, returns, and potential clean sheets with these fixtures here for us. I've already spoken about Jimenez, gorgeous, cheap asset, penalties. Only issue is Muniz is there, their substitute striker who does come on at times. If there's 3 games in a week, it is possible he gets rotated, which is quite frustrating, and he tends to come off around the 75th minute. Although this week he played the full 90 against Ipswich, so that was nice to see. He's definitely the number 1 in that team, so there's no issues there, but you have to bear in mind, 70th minute, 75th minute, you could see his number come up, which does tend to frustrate me. As we know, goals come when teams are getting tired and making mistakes. I've got another defender on the list, Castagna, cheaper than Robinson, maybe not as attacking, but if you haven't got as much money, he's a perfect asset. At times playing the right wing back, so bombing forward, getting a couple of shots off if you look at his heat map and some of the touches in very advanced positions. Another cheap way into that Fulham defence, and who knows, attacking returns could be there as well. And lastly, Zawobi. I know loads have gone cold on him, especially with Wilson playing recently. He's impacted his position and minutes, so maybe not the player to go for at the moment. A couple of weeks back, he was hot property, but we know things change quick in FPL. Now, he's not a horrible asset, but I would definitely favour the 3 ahead of him. Now, after Fulham, the team I want to look at is Manchester United. Look at their fixtures. Southampton, gorgeous fixture. I spoke earlier on with the graphic before regarding how poor Southampton are. They're top in XG conceded. They give away so many chances. And I know Manchester United have been poor this season, but maybe they'll be confident after that Liverpool performance, which was very good. Now, the fixtures, Southampton, Brighton, Fulham, Crystal Palace, and Tottenham. And the players we could possibly consider, there's not much here. I've only put 2 here. Slim pickings at United at the moment. I mean, we never know. More might come up as the game weeks go. But for now, Oli, Ahmad, and Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes put in an excellent performance against Liverpool, a captain's performance, and got a 7-point return. In a game we didn't expect any returns from him. Now, if you can hear some frustration in my voice, that's correct, because I got him after Saka got injured as my replacement, and he got a straight red card, which really annoyed me. So I sold him straight away for Saar. So it hasn't worked out for me well in that position, and to see him get a return against my team and then have Southampton coming up, quite frustrating day. Definitely a player this week, if you own, you should be excited about. And beside him is Ahmad, who's been the sensation for Amaron's reign so far. As I said, it's been a slow start for the new manager, but he has been the shining light. Whether he plays in that 10 position or the right wing back, excellent, top player and deserved these goals. So with Manchester United, I'm only going to go with 2. I don't want to put 4 up there because I think I'll be forcing it. Who knows, Højlund might become an option, Mazraoui maybe one of the centre backs, but for now, these are the only 2 I would actually consider. So the next team I want to talk about is Newcastle. They've really come on strong in the last couple of game weeks, and the upcoming fixtures make me think there's more to come. So when you look at fixtures run, they've got Wolves next, good fixture. After that, Bournemouth, not too bad. Southampton, gorgeous. And then it's Fulham and Manchester City. So the run continues. I really like Newcastle players at the moment. I know things change quick in FPL, and in 2 weeks' time, that might sound silly. But for now, this is a team I think you could double, maybe triple up on. Now, the players I would be considering are in this order. Isaac, everyone should own him. If you don't own him, I'm not quite sure what you're doing in FPL, but definitely bring him in. Superstar, outstanding player. I love watching him play. Behind him, it was tight, but I'm going to go Gordon. What edged it for me is when Trippier got injured last week, set pieces went to him. Not all of them, but a good amount of them, which just makes him a better asset, especially as Newcastle are pretty good in corners. They've got some big, strong guys. They're very good at attacking the ball. So definitely my second favorite asset. Third is Hall. A lot of us already own him, jumped on pretty early, a cheap asset. And Newcastle at one stage kept 4 clean sheets, and he's had a couple of attacking returns in there as well. Definitely a good cheap defender, and it's becoming the season of the cheap players. A lot of the cheap midfielders, cheap strikers, and cheap defenders now really doing the business. There's a lot of options for us, and he's one of my favorites. And lastly is the differential in this pick, and that's Murphy. If you watched my video 2 weeks ago, I went in full detail. In fact, it might be worth you checking it out if you are considering him. He's slyly taken that right wing spot. Barnes has had to sit on the bench and become the backup player, and he's deserved it. It's on merit. He's been very good, loads of assists. His effort and work rate going up and down that right wing is incredible. I do not see that changing for now. He's a cheap way into this Newcastle attack, and if you don't have the money for Gordon, Murphy is an excellent asset. You don't need to break your team. Obviously, I do prefer Gordon, made that clear in the order, but if you can't get there, Murphy is a good asset. I don't think it's a fad. I don't see him coming out the team at the moment. I don't think there's a worry. I really like him. So that's the 4 Newcastle players I really like. So I'm not going to go through the rest of the fixture ticker. You could take a screenshot and have a look at yourself if you want to do some extra planning for the next 5 game weeks. You could see Arsenal and Liverpool are still not too bad. We already own a lot of their players, especially Liverpool. If you're planning for Liverpool players, you want to start considering Liverpool will have a double game week very soon. So we're going to want to have triple Liverpool. That's a definite. We're not quite sure where. This is very tricky. Do you want a double defense with Konate coming back? Hopefully the defense improves. Do we want another midfielder, or do we want Jota? There's a lot of options. I've currently only got 2. I'm going to hold off, make sure I've got the transfers in the bank waiting, but without a doubt I will be tripled up on Liverpool. Arsenal, super strong, challenging for the Prem, currently only doubled up, but I could go to a triple up with someone like Jesus. So this fixture ticker just tells you in the next 5 game weeks, you combine this with the poor teams we want to target. They're the players I want to be bringing in. So now I've run through my transfer strategy and the type of players and the information I'll be using to bring in. This is the option 2 I had in my mind. So it's 2 potential transfers here. One of them being Mbumo, the superstar in the last 5 game weeks, but potentially I could be aggressive and say, look, he's facing Manchester City this week and then even a more difficult fixture next week. And I could bring in someone like Bruno. Yes, he's already burnt me this season. He got me the red card. I have to get rid of that and think about just this weekend, which is Southampton. Maybe he's not a long-term hold, but you can have the next 3 like I just looked at in the fixture ticker. So that could be one of my options. The second option is here is Greaves to Muniz. Now I gave you loads of information regarding Muniz, and in one of my previous videos, if you haven't seen, definitely check it out if you want to bring him in. Heat maps, details, positions, where he touches the ball, where he's crossing the ball from, all that good information. And one of the main reasons why I want to bring him in, when I've done the research on him and been watching him recently, super exciting asset for us in that FPL, and I think a haul there is around the corner. Greaves, he's not urgent to get rid of. In fact, both players in my team, they're not urgent. This is me maybe getting itchy fingers and wanting to utilize my transfers and maybe be a bit more aggressive and capitalize on this very good month I've had and try to propel myself into January, hopefully keeping up with these green arrows. But a big problem I would have with these moves here, maybe not with Mbumo to Bruno, but maybe Greaves to Muniz, is where do I play them? I've already said to you, I've got a benching dilemma. I currently have Timber on the bench. If I bring in Muniz, he's got Leicester. I'm going to want to play him. But who drops? I'm not going to drop Trent. I'm not going to drop Gabriel. They're 2 premium defenders I want to play most weeks. So I've got Hall. But Hall, Newcastle have been excellent defensively and they've got Wolves at home. So you can see where I'm getting at here. I'm almost forcing it. Hence why my preference is arguably to do nothing. And I'd love your input. If you can get in the comments and let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Do me a favor, get in the comments and let me know what moves you're doing this game week. Before you jump off to your next video, like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach my next milestone and I can only do that with your help. So I'd really appreciate any feedback, comments, likes, sharing the video. And the last thing for me to say is good luck and I'll see you on my next video. But also, if you want more information on Muniz and a deep dive on Murphy, check this video out on the screen right now.